You work hard to stay healthy and want the freedom to make the best decisions for yourself and your family. So why does healthcare still feel expensive and frustrating? Crowd Health is a different approach, built for entrepreneurs, families, and independent-minded people who want a simpler way to pay for healthcare. More than 28,000 members have already joined, and over 40,000 medical bills have already been funded. No restrictive networks, no corporate middlemen, just real people helping each other. Learn more at joincrowdhealth.com. That's joincrowdhealth.com.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gill Alexander on VSiN.
Hour number 3 of a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, SiriusXM Channel 158. It's Gill Alexander from beautiful San Francisco. They say it's terrible here. Why don't you guys stay away? It's awful. So bad you can see back here.
It is gorgeous. I'm distracted by your background. This entire show. I just keep looking over to your shoulder. I'm like, what is that? What's that cool building? What's that?
That's a school right there. That's a school.
And then what do you got? What do you got in the background? What am I? Are those mountains? Is that what I'm looking at?
Yeah. So that I got to do with pointing the weatherman thing.
Yeah.
That right there, the mountain to the right is Angel Island.
Oh,
that's uninhabited. And then in the distance, that is Tiburon. That's where the Jeffrey Ma's of the world reside. And then my head is covering Sausalito. So you're looking north behind me into the bay. That's the bay. You see the water right back there. So yeah, it's a beautiful city. It really is. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Why is
Kelley lonely.
Why is Angel Island uninhabited? Why is,
I don't know.
I
don't know what that story is, to be honest with you.
Okay.
It's a very small little thing, but Tiburon, Sausalito, it's the most beautiful part of, with apologies to Utah and Colorado in terms of like water views, it's the most beautiful part of the country, in my humble opinion. Kelley is lonely in the VSiN studios in Las Vegas. I'll return there at some point. No promises, but I'll get there before football season. How about that?
Sounds good.
We'll be back. Yeah. By the way, we did get a tweet from somebody on this. This is from 3JockH3131 who says, just so Kelley doesn't feel lonely, I will be happy to fly out to Las Vegas and keep Gill's chair warm. You guys just need to cover the flight, the stay at Circa, and maybe spot me some spending money. That's it. That's all we got to do for him.
No problem.
No problem. B. Earl Nelson, kind of like Kate Michael Bydlon. B. Earl Nelson. Scheffler could play Jesus one-on-one. The books would make Scheffler minus 425 and people would run to bet him. Crazy. An iHeart SEC podcast chiming in on the World Cup talk. He says, I'm looking at going draw first half, then under 2.5 full game now that we're past the group play. Went 2-0 yesterday doing that. So he's got his strategery on that as well. Before we move on to the NFL betting guide and some football plays here from both me and Kelley, it's just so funny observing Twitter also, Kelley, like Joe Pita, the Austria-Algeria game. I don't know if you saw that, where it was the last game of the group stage. They both knew if they had a draw, they would both get through. And it's like they were just playing kickball. Nothing was happening. Then Algeria all of a sudden randomly scores in stoppage time to go up 3-2. And then Austria sort of to some suspiciously scored right back, right? It's a whole thing. There was that. And then there was poor Iran. If you're a fan of the Iran side or if you're Iranian, I have a friend, Reza, in San Francisco, who is a Miami Dolphins fan who is Iranian by ethnicity. He says it was the biggest gut punch he's ever had as a sports fan since the Kellen Winslow famous Dolphins Chargers game back in 1980. Was that 81, perhaps 80 or 81, the famous game in Miami. Iran looked to have scored the equalizer in that game, but were later called for offside, or was it the go-ahead goal and they were called for offside? I can't remember now exactly the details, but it was this rule that essentially was applied correctly, where the rule is you're offside if you are behind the second to last defender, meaning that the goalkeeper is usually the last defender. In this case, the goalkeeper moved up to challenge the play. And so it became offsides because the goalkeeper went to challenge it. so the rule was applied correctly. Joe Peta was fascinating on Twitter. I'm always amazed by how people on Twitter just want to answer whatever they want to answer. He wanted to know the logic of that. In other words, he gets the rule. He just wanted to know what the rule's logic is that a goalkeeper is, in his words, was out of place. Why does that reward that team if the goalkeeper is out of place and then they get to call offsides? It was amazing on Twitter how no one would answer the question. They would just go like, oh, the rule is clear. You don't understand. He's like, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking for what the logic is. But it was a fascinating discussion if you ever get a chance to look at Joe's Twitter at MagicRadSF on that kind of thing, because Iran, sorry, it's just gut-wrenching. Korea didn't make it. Iran was the last team eliminated, and that's the World Cup. It is what it is.
Man,
rule applied correctly.
I'll have to look at Joe's tweet on that. It is I do nothing. I'm sure you're kind of like me, Gill, where I watch the World Cup and then I start to think about soccer strategy. Like nobody's ever thought about these things before. I'm the first person ever, right? Some random American checking in every 4 years for the World Cup. I'm sitting there thinking though, why couldn't you have? Couldn't I just field a really fast goalie and then we just push everybody up to like midfield, and then the only way you can get past me is if someone dribbles by me, right? So they just got to sprint back. Otherwise, everything's offsides. My services are available. You can call me. Okay.
Kelley Bydlon, soccer rules aficionado.
Soccer
services
consultant.
are available.
Yes.
The NFL betting guide, the VSiN NFL betting guide, our football is out now. It was out of as of last week. 1 week ago today, as a matter of fact, been out a week. You should check it out. Again, VSiN.com/subscribe. Adam Burke did a great job. Adam Burke, who will be joining us here momentarily, did a great job steering the ship on this. So many people contributed. We were able to go through everybody, 23 different VSiN personalities, including Kelley and me. We were able to go through all our division winners, conference winners, Super Bowl winners, and then we added best bets as well. I was able to share the best bet that I included, which was over on the San Francisco 49ers, over 10.5 wins. I talked about how they were 12-5 last year while missing 64 total games amongst their 6 highest paid players: Purdy, Ayuk, Bosa, Trent Williams, Fred Warner, George Kittle. Just a mash unit. That was the most missed games due to injury by any playoff team. And just great additions in the offseason, I thought, to the Niners. 12-5 banged up like that last year. I cited some Brock Purdy stats that I think he's really much better than people give him credit for being. So it's way over for me on the 10.5. I don't have to go way over. I just have to get to 11. Yeah. Don't have him winning the division. Don't need him to. Just give me the over on the season wins. That was my best bet. Kelley, you didn't have a chance to share yours.
Yeah, Gill, it's hard for me to hate on it, right? Like this is the Niners, to me, are clearly the third best team in the NFC West. There are 2 teams that are better than them, but guess what? Last checked, all 3 of those teams got over 10.5 last year, and I think the Niners I think we're talking about a similar team, except for all the things that you just went through, all the injuries that they had to deal with a year ago. Yeah, I think they got some questions, but every team does at this point in this offseason. So, yeah, man, I like it. It's hard to hate on it, especially Shanahan. I mean, he's just one of the best coaches in the NFL. So, yeah, I had 2 that were in the guide. I will start off with the one that I think I've bet like 3 consecutive years now. Buffalo Bills win the AFC East. I know it's
shocker.
I know everybody's shocked out there that I went and bet this one. 125. Price, right, Gill? You and I were talking about this Patriots team all during last season and into this offseason, how much tougher the schedule is going to be. It was such a talking point during last season. And yes, I don't think the Patriots are going to be bad. I'm a Drake May believer. I'm a believer in this team. But you're going to have the Patriots facing a tougher schedule, and then the drop-off in the rest of the division. I mean, the Jets and Dolphins. The Dolphins, I think, are the worst team in the NFL. I think they're going to end up with the worst record. I think the Jets are not going to be too far behind them. So you're giving me minus 125 in basically which is a matchup bet the way I'm viewing it between the Bills and Patriots. I'll lay the 125 with Buffalo. This was... Look, they have major changes on the defensive side of the ball. We know about the head coach change, Sean McDermott out. We have Joe Brady, who steps into that position. They will be completely overhauling scheme on the defensive side of the ball, switching to a 3-4. I'm interested to see how that works out. But look, this is not a team that's been relying on a really stellar defense much the past couple years anyways. They were bottom third rated last season, so really only room to move upward, you would think, with that switch. We'll see how that goes. But where I feel confident in this bet, like every season, it's the offense and how productive it is. It's a top 5 unit basically every year. This is the 3rd rated offense over at Pro Football Focus a season ago. And the number one reason why is because of Josh Allen leading the way. He's not only, in my opinion, the most valuable player in football because of his skill, but also his availability. The number of started games now at this point is 139 consecutive games. And for a guy who runs the ball and takes as many hits as he does, it's extremely impressive that he's able to be out there every single week. And I think that's such a big deal when we talk about injuries week in and week out in the NFL. So, yeah, I did play the division price minus 125 on the Buffalo Bills. That's bet number 1 for me, Gil.
Josh Allen, I just feel like saying this. Josh Allen, career record in overtime, 0-7, including 0-3 in the playoffs. The worst mark in NFL history. Just want to throw that out. Find someone who loves you as much as Kelly Bydlon loves the Buffalo Bills. I don't disagree with anything you're saying, by the way. I just wanted to poke at you with that stat.
Oh, yeah.
What's next?
I mean, it sounds like they can only do better in overtime games, Gil. They can only get better.
Hold on. Checking. That is correct. Thanks
for helping me. I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. This was the shortest, this next one, I think the shortest write-up I've ever had on any bet that I've ever made in any of our guides. Cleveland Browns under 6.5 wins. Check me where I'm wrong here, Gil. New head coach and Todd Monken, great. Myles Garrett's gone. We've got a whole new offensive line. Your starting quarterback is going to be Deshaun Watson or Shedeur Sanders, and it's a division with Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I'm going to go under 6.5. I don't need a whole lot more than that. This was the one I felt like me and you both were this was by far the most shocking opening win total to me. And I knew I was going to end up on the under. I'm there, under minus 125.
The best part about this is like for the Bills bet, you like wrote Mein Kampf. Right. And then for the Browns, you had like a 2-sentence nugget. Yeah. I don't see how anyone can disagree. I really don't. Coming back, the aforementioned Adam Burke. His baseball plays next on a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting.
You're here because you want an edge. That's what separates listeners from winners. But let's be real, mindset alone doesn't get bets home. Pros win because they've got the tools, the data, and the discipline. And now so can you. VSiN Pro gives you access to the same real-time insights the sharps use. No secrets, no fluff, just actionable info that moves markets. Tap the link and see why serious bettors are turning knowledge into profit with VSiN Pro.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
As Kelly and I were just discussing, the all-new VSiN NFL Betting Guide is out now. Whether you're betting futures, win totals, division races, MVP, Rookie of the Year, Super Bowl odds, whatever, our guide helps you get ahead of the market before training camps begin. Inside, you'll find breakdowns of all 32 teams, projected win totals, best bets from VSiN experts, futures analysis, power ratings, and more. Get it today with our football special for just $175. The sooner you sign up, the more value you get with full access to everything we do across every sport through the Super Bowl. That includes daily best bets, real-time betting splits from DraftKings and Circa, AI-powered prop projections, 24/7 video on the VSiN Watch app. Head to VSiN.com/subscribe now. That's VSIN.com/subscribe. Gil Alexander in San Francisco, Kelly Bydlon back at the mothership. They're in Circa Sportsbook, right atop the Circa Sportsbook there in Las Vegas. This gentleman not only just tried to kick me off of my connection here in San Francisco, but he is the man who steered the ship on the NFL Betting Guide. Adam Burke joins us now from somewhere in Las Vegas, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. Adam, good morning to you, sir. Was this your finest betting guide work, in your opinion?
I hope so. I hope that's exactly how people feel about it, because I think we put out a really, really good product here. I know I've been talking about it for over a week now, but look, I think it's a really good time to jump in on the NFL futures market, props, awards, all those kinds of things. And very happy to have this guide out. I mean, there's tons of best bets in this thing from all of our VSiN hosts and contributors. We changed up the format a little bit in terms of the team previews as well. So very happy to have this one out. I'll tell you what, you talked about that football special. I am emailing out assignments for our college football guide this morning, and I've already started working on my part. That comes out Monday, August 3rd here at VSiN.com. So good time to get that football special for sure.
When do you need my Sunbelt preview done by, Adam? Just so I note it correctly.
I'm actually going to give you Conference USA this year, Kelly.
Oh no! Yeah. Okay, all right.
Is that, not to get too in the weeds of like guide, inside baseball stuff, but like, is the college football one the most challenging now because of transfer portals? Is that the hardest one to do?
I would say that undoubtedly the hardest one to do is the college basketball season preview.
College basketball,
obviously a transfer portal thing there too, but I mean, there's 360 some odd Division I teams for that. So that one's definitely a really, really big piece of work, but the college football one isn't easy either with, I think it's 33 or 34 new head coaches this season to go along with thousands of players in the transfer portal. So you got to do your research, you got to do your homework, and that's what we're trying to help people with here, our audience out with that college football guide. But I would say it's probably second to college basketball, which is just, I'm not going to say I dread it, but it's definitely an interesting time of year, especially with everything else going on at the time when you're writing the college basketball one.
All right, let's get to Major League Baseball. You're always making plays. Let's talk about your Guardians. No Jose Ramirez, and they refuse to fall under 500. For God's sakes, can we just fall under 500 already? Which to me, if they can make it through the absence of Ramirez and maintain 500, it's a feat. You have a play on the Guardians Rangers this morning.
Yeah, I do. And look, I know that there's been some games where they've kind of scored some runs, 5 or 6 runs here or there, but there are very, very long stretches of these baseball games where they just look pathetic on offense. And they looked bad on offense with Jose Ramirez. At least they got Chase DeLauder back, and he had a couple big hits for them in yesterday's game to steal one from the Mariners. But guys, I don't play a whole lot of nerfies, the no-run first inning market, but I think today is a really good opportunity to play one where you got Tyler Alexander opening for the Rangers. He's left-handed. That's a handicap for Cleveland to begin with. Also, I don't know how Stephen Vogt's going to set this lineup up. I think it's fascinating. He's had Stephen Kwan batting leadoff the last couple of days, given that Kwan's been really, really bad, one of the worst hitters in baseball over the last calendar year. But even if it's David Fry, Rhys Hoskins up at the top, those two guys who are supposed to hit lefties have not. Fry's got a 289 weighted on base average. Hoskins is even worse than that. So even their platoon guys aren't hitting lefties at all. And guys, Parker Messick, incredible season he's having for Cleveland. The pitching has, really kind of been their savior again. How about this? In 16 starts, he has allowed 7 total bases in the first inning, which I was blown away when I saw that stat. 094 batting average, 172 on base, 132 slugging, 19 strikeouts against 5 walks. Hey, if the Rangers score off of him, okay. I'll take it. I'll wear it. I'll eat the juice. But I like no runs in the first inning here, minus 130 in Cleveland.
Well, Mark Borchardt and I were doing our Q2 MLB derivatives betting podcast last year. We actually did it on a numbers game. And one of the things we look at is first inning pitching stats. And I believe Parker Messick had the best first inning on base percentage against. It's like 07 something. I'll check exactly what it was. It was just incredible in the first inning from him. So that checks out. Greg Peterson was on earlier. He had a play in the White Sox game. You do as well.
Yeah, I'm going to take the White Sox here at plus money against the Orioles. I mean, Chicago, even without Murakami, I mean, their offense hasn't missed a beat, right? They've been very, very strong. They're getting some good pitching as well from guys like Sean Burke, who's getting the start here today. Expected ERA around 4, FIP around 4. That's going to get you by with what this offense has been able to do for Chicago throughout the course of the season. Shane Baz, 4.31 ERA, 4.51 expected ERA. But the biggest thing to me is when you look at the current composition of this White Sox lineup, they're going to have 7 left-handed bats against Baz in this game tonight. He's allowed a 285, 355, 470 slash, 356 weighted on base average, 2 lefties here this season. So the fact that left-handed batters have done so well against him, double-digit walk rate, also 10.4% walk rate, I think it sets up really, really well for the Chicago offense here. I know they've had some relief issues, and maybe Sean Burke is kind of a slight regression candidate in some respects, but I think the White Sox are going to score in tonight's game. I think they're going to be able to get the offense that they need to be able to win this one at a plus money price. Baltimore, they're 27th in weighted on base average against righties over the last 14 days. So they're not really doing much offensively right now against right-handed pitching. And Sean Burke's been a pretty good right-handed pitcher, at least an above average right-handed pitcher here this season. So I feel like the White Sox are worth a look here tonight where, again, I really like this matchup for them offensively. So even if you don't want to take, the plus 114 that's out there at DraftKings or some of the other plus money numbers, maybe a first 5 team total over, full game team total over, something like that. Just a good way to support the White Sox in what I think is a favorable matchup.
By the way, just to follow up on what I was saying before, first inning on base percentage against Major League Baseball, Jacob Misiorowski, now the best, 169 on base against in the first inning. Trevor Rogers of the Birds, 170, and then Messick, 172 for the Cleveland Guardians. The Dodgers are only minus 115 favorites at Sutter Health Park in Sacktown tonight, Adam. It's Eric Lauer going up against Gage Jump. Opportunity to jump on the Dodgers?
Hey, I see what you did there. I think so, right? I mean, a short price here, right, on a good night to hit. And this Dodgers lineup, we know that they're very, very hard to get through, very hard to turn over. And Gage Jump's been fantastic. I give him a ton of credit for what he's done here so far this season, even survived his start at Las Vegas Ballpark when it seemed like none of the starting pitchers were able to survive during that 6-game quasi homestand, we'll call it, for the A's. But he is jumping up in class here in this one, right? Facing the Dodgers. It's tough when you're a young pitcher going out there facing this kind of lineup. Everybody's a big name. These are a lot of guys that are able to lay off borderline pitches, stuff like that. Sometimes I think you try to be a little bit too fine when you face a lineup of this magnitude as a younger starting pitcher. And I think it's something that could get Gage in trouble tonight. If he walks some guys, put some guys on base, gives the Dodgers some run-scoring opportunities in a good ballpark to hit, I think it could be a little bit tough. I understand why this is such a short price here on the Dodgers. Eric Lauer has all sorts of regression signs, right? 2.54 ERA in his 28 innings with the Dodgers, but 4.41 expected ERA, FIP over 5. It's going to happen at some point. Hey, it maybe happens tonight, right? But I think the Dodgers at this price, with all of these offensive conditions that should work in their favor, I couldn't pass on it. And also, I think their bullpen is significantly better than what the A's have been putting out there. So I took the Dodgers, and once again, kind of like that no-run first inning in Cleveland. If it loses, it loses. But I think this is a really valuable price to get on the Dodgers tonight.
Last thing in our final minute here, Adam, we've been sort of asking around. Well, not asking around, but Will Hill asked this of me. I think I asked it of him beforehand, which is this exercise here at roughly the halfway point of the season. Give me the 6 teams in the American League that make the playoffs exercise. You're on. Who you got?
Oh, God. Well, the Yankees and Rays,
worst.
For sure. I mean,
yes.
The Yankees, despite what they've done here this week, they're definitely the class of the American League. There's no question about that. I still think the Mariners win the West. I mean, no one's really separated themselves there, but I think Seattle is the best team. I'm going to say the Guardians somehow find a way to win the Central. I don't know how, but they'll find a way. So that's 4 of them. White Sox get in. You know what? I think Boston might actually sneak their way in. I think Boston's actually a much better team than they've been so far. If you look, by the way, at Clay Davenport's standings, they're minus 6 games in third-order win percentage. They should be 42 and 40, so they're a positive regression team going forward.
I think you only named 5, which was a creative way of getting out of the answer. Well done. Very well done. Nicely done. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate it. NBA trade rumors next on A Numbers Game.
A Numbers Game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
$30 million in guaranteed prizes cash in this football season in Las Vegas with 3, count them 3, Circus Sports contests. Entry starting at $1,000, all with no rake. That means every dollar stays in the prize pool. Circa million, 18 weeks, 128 ways to win. Circa Survivor, pick one winner each week. Last one standing wins. And Circa Grandissimo for the high rollers, $100,000 entry. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. 30 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details. Gill Alexander, Kelley Bydlon, numbers game on this Monday morning. Happy 250th birthday, America. We're about 5 days away from a July 4th celebration that you're supposed to remember for the rest of your life. I do remember the bicentennial. That's how old I am. I remember. Yes, I do remember.
Where were you? What were you doing?
I was at camp. I was in grade school, and I was at a camp in New Hampshire.
Grade school. So would this be a sleepaway camp or was this like a daily camp?
Yes, a sleepaway camp.
Nice.
Yes, but parents were like, "Get the kid out of here. We want to enjoy our summer." And so we're in New Hampshire for the bicentennial, 1976, and here we are at the 250th. Unbelievable. By the way, Yannick Sinner did win in 5 cents against Miramir Kikmanovic, so the blasphemous Sinner defeat in the first round did not happen there. We get tweets at Beating the Book. Always appreciate the feedback from everybody. This is from Fairway Fred. Said, "Hey, Gill, looks like the Marina District behind you." Yes, it is. Many fond memories at Marina Lounge. Hard cocktails and Original Joe's. Yeah, Marina District back that way behind me. Dusty, Noel 7. Our man Gill gets to work from home and feels comfortable enough to lose another button on his shirt. Enjoy the view and have a great week, boys. Happy 4th. It's actually the same number of buttons. It's just that I'm closer to the camera. So it looks like it's an additional button.
Yeah, you guys at home enjoy the view. All right. How about that? Yeah.
Hey-oh. Cheap prop bets. The rule is to have 2 defenders in front of you or else you're offside. Yes, we understand that. This is to prevent cherry picking. We understand that. The rule doesn't apply if the offensive player is on his own half. This is to prevent Kelly's idea. That's right.
Man,
that's right.
Someone thought about it, Gill. Who would have thought? Who would have thought in the 1,000 years of competitive soccer being played, someone would have thought of my idea? That's weird.
That's right. That's right. But I think what Joe was asking, though, is obviously that's not the situation. It's just a goalie making a run at a ball. Does that still make soccer sense for that to have been ruled offside? I think the better argument is the guy who is, the last defender wasn't really part of the play. So I don't know. It was an interesting call, but it was the correct call. We're talking about the Iran game the other day. Forrest Lehman, Kelley taking the Bills to win the division. Almost as crazy as Gill on a pro Niners wager. Now, wait a minute. Wait a second. These are some
pretty shocking bets from us.
I don't know what. Do I have a reputation of betting on the Niners? It's so strange. I haven't bet on the Niners in like a few years. It's so interesting that stuck with me. Just because I live here in San Francisco doesn't mean I like them.
No,
I don't understand.
It does feel like it's been a few years. It does feel like it's been a few years. However, you did lose it on me once for calling you a Niners fan because
totally.
I think I think it's fair and justified. You've lived there a lot of years. I think it's fine to have some affinity for the team. I think you're allowed to have that. You can still be a Washington fan and root for Niners success.
No. See, this is where the cultural realities must be reinforced. When you grow up and when you are born and raised in Washington, D.C., you can stray in other sports, but not football. That is not how this works. Mike Alvarez. Hey, guys, been slammed at work. Haven't caught any shows lately. I jump on this morning and find that Gill is recording for what I can only assume is a Starbucks restroom or something along those lines. What the heck happened?
Wow.
Yes. I'm in a Starbucks restroom. That's exactly where I am.
It's a great view out of the restroom.
That's quite a Starbucks. And then Ankit Katakia. Not a soccer expert, but I think in Kelly's example, the other team can just bomb it into the empty net. Yeah, everyone's poking holes in your rando example.
No, that's a good call. That would be a great counter strategy. You're right. Apparently there are rules, but yes, you would need like an Erling Haaland 80-yard bomb. That's right.
That's right. All right. So we started the show kind of sports talking about the latest Charlotte Hornets trend, which again, for those who missed it, not only did they send LaMelo Ball famously to the T-Wolves for Naz Reid, picks swapped as well in that trade last week. Dustin and I talked about it. Just one of these trades that I felt, Kelly has a different viewpoint, but I feel like it's sort of lose-ish. Both teams sort of moving on from what their identities were. And perhaps both teams just figured, hey, this is great, but we're only going to hit a ceiling. So maybe we have to make these moves. I'm not sure either team's going to be better, but in case you missed it over the weekend, Miles Bridges dealt by the Hornets as well, a 2029 first round pick, a 2027 second round pick, all go to the Phoenix Suns for Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, and a 2033 first rounder. So that has happened. And now we heard Draymond Green is going to be a free agent. There was some other stuff that Kelly was talking about this morning. And now we have all kinds of rumors about the Warriors, that they are interested in Anthony Davis. They are interested in LeBron James. All of this on the heels, of course, the biggest thing, which is Giannis going to the Heat. Kelly, which leaves LeBron and Jaylen Brown, I guess, as the biggest targets for rumors and innuendo. What do you have here on these guys?
Yeah, this is, you've got NBA free agency starting up officially tomorrow. So this is really the day, though, you start seeing all this stuff come down. I'll catch you up, Gill, because there's been plenty coming down as we're doing the show here. Brian Windhorst reporting this morning. So Draymond Green has declined that player option, will enter free agency. Windhorst reporting there is indication that, from Draymond that he is willing to take a pay cut. So I don't think any shocker there. If you, as you were saying, what other team really makes sense for Draymond Green? I don't really know that there is. I think he takes. Yeah. Especially if it means bringing in a LeBron James or Anthony Davis. I think Draymond, I think we could easily see him as being that guy to take way less money to be a part of that team and stick around. And it is like this LeBron Warriors stuff, multiple reporting going on. I'm seeing Chris Haynes reporting about it right now. This is heating up, LeBron to the Warriors. So we'll see if anything happens with that over the next day or two. You've got DeAndre Ayton exercising his player option with the Lakers for next season. No surprise there. And then what was the other one I just saw? Andrew Wiggins, official, exercised his $30 million player option to return to the Miami Heat. So Miami Heat, another good player back on the roster, but that amount of available money just keeps getting less and less and less, Gil.
Do you think, I mean, the real question here, let's just play it forward here. Let's say LeBron ends up with the Warriors. Does that move the needle for you at all?
No. I mean, like, it does. It does from a viewing standpoint, right? Like, the NBA's got to love that, right? Like, TV ratings, all that stuff. Like, it's going to be a fun team to watch and root for, like, to have some success next season. But, man, I know the Spurs and Thunder did not win the NBA championship, but the West is still going to roll through them, I think, for a long, long time. And it is.
I do, too.
I don't, Lakers, or Warriors, does that maybe put you in that next tier down? Maybe. I'm not going to deny Steph Curry and LeBron James that. I mean, these are two of the legends of the game. Could they get it together for one more year and carry a team, to a Western Conference, semifinals? Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked by that at all.
I'd even be shocked by that. I really would. What's the latest on Jaylen Brown? What's the latest rumor there?
I'm just trying to think, like, who else is, who else in the West, right? Like, the Nuggets sure feel like they've taken a step back. I do expect we're going to see some roster changes with them. Timberwolves, like, they're third on the board right now to win the West. There's been plenty of criticism over what they've done. I do tell you one team, I'm getting way out in front of this, but it's one I keep thinking about. The Houston Rockets are going to be so forgotten after what they did in their early playoff exit. Like, that win total is probably going to be a play. The other thing that Miami's got going for them, I don't know if you saw this tweet I sent you, but this is Ben Simmons from Men's Health magazine on potentially making an NBA comeback. Quote, maybe I'll go back to Philly. Miami would be nice. And not because it's Miami. I like Eric Spoelstra. I like the Heat. I like their organization. I like the culture. My whole point of bringing this up is, Gil, we can laugh about it being Ben Simmons, but, like, we've seen Riley and the Heat do this before. Like, I'm not going to completely count them out just because you're going to get anybody who's out there interested in signing for very little money. So I know the roster looks really bleak right now, and there's not much there. Let me check it at the trade deadline. Let's see what this thing's looking like, because especially in a down east, man, I'm not going to count out this Miami Heat team. Jaylen Brown, I don't know what to tell you, Gil. I really don't. I really thought he was on the table for Giannis, and that was it. The only player we're worth having a conversation for Jaylen Brown for is the top 5 player in the NBA. It sure sounds like I was wrong, and this is more of an open trade.
I thought like you, but apparently they have to move on because apparently the bridges have been burned. My favorite Jaylen Brown rumor, the Rockets, Amen Thompson, Alperen Sengun for Jaylen Brown. We'll see. Get Kelly's thoughts on that. On the other side, we'll recap the bets as well on a numbers game.
A numbers game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back on a numbers game. Gill Alexander live from sunny San Francisco. Kelly back at Circa in the VSiN studios over there. Thanks to everybody who was on the show today. Wes Reynolds, Adam Burke, Greg Peterson a little earlier on the show. In case you missed it, did my MLB July wins spiel earlier, landed on the Red Sox at 80-1. We'll recap all the bets here momentarily. Just wanted to read the last couple tweets that we have here. The numbers, guys. Glad you're able to work from home. Hope you're back in Vegas soon. Hey, Kelly, how's about Daniel Berger? 190-1 to win the British. He played good at Royal Birkdale last time. Too early to start thinking about the Open Championship? ?
I don't think it's too early. We were talking about that a little bit with Wes. I'm smiling because I don't think you're ever going to get me or Gil to say anything bad about Daniel Berger. A great ball striker. Great ball striker. I know Gil loves that term so much, but not someone who jumped out to me, but I was looking through those odds, and there were a couple guys in triple digits that did jump out. JJ Spawn, who's been playing some great golf recently. He's 100-1. It actually might be a bet I end up making today. You might want to check, Open Championship experience, stuff like that. I will say for us that handicap golf on a weekly basis on the PGA Tour, you always I don't want to say forget every year, but you always got to remind yourself every year, Gil. When we're heading overseas, it turns into a different game for sure.
Minky Monkey Man. Hey, Gil, love the marina. Care to share your 3 favorite marina restaurants? No need to be secretive if one is a sushi joint. I'm not going to keep it to the marina, but I'll do like marina adjacent also. Best breakfast burrito. I used to say it was cracked and battered on Chestnut. I will go with Mama's Luncheonette on Buchanan now. Best breakfast burrito in San Francisco. Mama's Luncheonette. I swear by it.
How often do you eat a breakfast burrito?
Too much.
Yeah. No. I don't. I'm not surprised by that answer because, you guys got to realize the hours we work. It's a little odd. We get off. Neither of us eat before the show, right, Gil? We don't eat breakfast. We don't really eat much at all. So we get off. It's 10 a.m. and then you're kind of I don't know. Is it breakfast? Is it lunchtime? Whatever.
It is, and let's put it this way. I am keenly aware that Mama's Luncheonette is not open on Mondays and Tuesdays. How about that? So
there you go.
I realize, yeah. So that, and then I would say also, if you want sushi specifically, Okoze on it's Hyde and Union. I want to say Okoze, Okoze, and what would be my third? I'm sure I'm forgetting something in the marina. A16 on Chestnut maybe is the jam. I think.
Who's got the best sourdough bread?
You hate sourdough bread.
I do.
It's your worst thing ever. Sourdough bread with the clam chowder inside. It's a very touristy thing to do on Fisherman's Wharf. Yeah. But, it's worth doing once in a while. Wimbledon this morning, I had 6 plays. Early returns, not so great. Hugo Gaston was a straight set loser against Stefanos Tsitsipas. He was a plus 190 dog, but that was just a bad pick by me. Marin Cilic trying to get back in this match against Daniil Medvedev. He is down 2 sets. Remember, on the men's side, it's a slam, so it's best of 5. So Cilic trying to fight back there. The real interesting one is Ali Tarvit, down 2 sets to none against Artur Rinderknecht on 2 tiebreakers. He comes back. He wins the 4th set the third set, we're on serve in the fourth. Ladies side, we are up early on Tara Rudy, who's up a set on Tagger. That is Lana Tararudi against Lily Tagger. So we're up a set in that one. The only two that have not started include the big one, which is our only favorite on the board, Katerina Siniakova, minus 142 versus Zheng Xinwen, but also the big dog, Pana Udvardy, plus 355 versus Ekaterina Alexandrova. Udvardy gets that one home for us. Most likely it's a winning day just on that alone. Assuming we can get another one here. But Udvardy, I have no understanding as to why that line is what it is. Right now, that is scheduled for roughly 10:10 Eastern. 10:10 Pacific. That is the last women's match scheduled of the day. But you know how it goes with tennis matches. They don't always start on the precise time based on court availability, whatever matches precede them, how far they go. So anyway, that one has not started. Siniakova and Udvardy. Siniakova, Udvardy. Those are the two matches that have not begun. In the first wave of matches, the first day at Wimbledon, tennis's grass major. One futures play at Wimbledon, Iga Swiatek to win it all at 10-1. She's the defending champ. Can't believe that number. She lost to Emma Navarro at Bad Homburg. Her odds drifted to 10-1. Listen, she's got Taylor Townsend tomorrow. That is not an easy match. I believe it's tomorrow, maybe the next day. Not an easy match. She could lose in the first round. She could also win the tournament. I'm going with win the tournament at 10-1. Red Sox, as mentioned, got them to win in July, 80-1. It is 60-1 last I checked at William Hill Caesars. Didn't take much to move that off the 80-1, but it is at 60-1 now. I would still play it. Gave the reasons earlier as to why. The Braves were my third shot. The Brewers were my second. I actually rephrasing it. I understand why the Brewers are the favorite and the Braves are the second shot. Those are the first two teams I gravitated towards. Went through this earlier on the show. Made complete sense why they are the shortest numbers. But as we saw with the Marlins here today, or in the month of June, you don't bet 5-1s or plus 550s in this. Too much can happen. And in the month of July, I'm taking the Red Sox at 60-1 based on the schedule analysis. Also, a couple of World Cup draws today. Brazil, Japan, the first of the three matches today, plus 276, going for the draw there. Remember, this is regulation time plus added time, does not include any 30-minute extra time if necessary, does not include that. And then the third match today, Netherlands and Morocco, playing the draw there at plus 214. You, sir.
I think that one I'm going to join you on, Gill. Netherlands, Morocco draw. I think I'll be there with you. I'm looking at I guess I got to play it quick if I'm going to jump in. I'm going to play the over 2.5 on Brazil, Japan. I'm playing over early in the morning here. We'll see how that goes. But there's good two attacking teams in the group stages. I'm going to go over 2.5. And then I did add a future last night. Argentina to reach the semifinals, minus 125. Shop around. I saw this as high as like 165 places. We talked about it earlier with Wes. And Drew had identified it before the tournament. Really thought this path was going to open up for Argentina. It looks like it could be pretty easy till they face England, which would be in the semifinals. So did like that, added that future. 2 NFL bets over in the NFL Betting Guide. Go to VSiN.com. Check that out now. Browns under 6.5 wins, and the Bills minus 125 to win the AFC East.
Okay. Also, we're joined earlier today on the show. By the way, it's so funny because I just realized that the first match is at the top of the hour. So I'm making bets.
Like it's in 8 minutes. I've been looking at this overall for 3 hours. I haven't bet it yet.
Wes Reynolds was kind enough to join us earlier. He is actually playing Morocco plus a half goal in their match against the Netherlands tonight. So he's taken Morocco. What did he say? 32 consecutive matches where they haven't lost? Is that what?
I believe that's what he said. Yep.
Yeah, that's an amazing stat. So he's taking Morocco plus the half goal against the Netherlands. That also sort of plays into our draw play from earlier. Remember, the winner of Netherlands-Morocco plays Canada in the round of 16. Adam Burke with a trifecta of baseball plays earlier. He is on the White Sox. Money line plus 114 at Camden Yards and the Orioles today. The Rangers Guardians, Nerfy, no run first inning. Adam is playing that at minus 130. And then the Dodgers, money line at the Athletics, a very muted price on the Dodgers at Sutter Health Park in Sacramento. Greg Peterson, not to be outdone, he had his Fab 5. He too is on the White Sox versus the Orioles. So both Greg and Adam match on the White Sox versus the Birds today. He is also on the Tigers, plus 130 versus the Yankees. Tigers looking to riff off what has been a great month of June and ride it home into the last couple days of the month. Reds Brewers over 8.5 runs today. Padres Cubs is at Wrigley. The total at Wrigley is 12 today. Greg says, not so fast, my friends. I'm going to go under on that. And then the Marlins, one win, actually a magic number of one. So a Marlins win or a Phillies loss here in the last 2 days wins the month of June for the Marlins at Circa. There are dead heat implications at William Hill Caesars. They have a little more work to do on that to win that one outright. But Marlins is the play for Greg versus the Rockies today. Marlins are minus 122. So, Kelly, in our final 30 seconds, how do we do from San Francisco today? Our maiden voyage.
I think we did pretty good, but we'll see. Plenty of shows to go. Want to update one thing before we get out of here, Gill. Wiggins, we talked about last segments opting into his player his player option. No, he has opted in. Reportedly from Shams, will restructure his contract. Will sign a 3-year, $64 million deal with the Heat. So big-time pay cut for Andrew Wiggins opens up the books a little bit more for Miami.
A big-time pay cut to just over $20 million a year.
That's right.
It's tough. Stuff
out there.
We've done all we can do. We'll do it again tomorrow. Prop Points is next. Enjoy from VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.